Hi, I've just done a video about superpowers, and the point about the superpower that in fact we can discover we have got, every single one of us, no matter what we're up against, is that when we find out what our superpowers are, and there's often many, many more than one, they can help us with the challenges we have. So right now I'm doing a few videos because I want to encourage all of us to remember that if we are actually being given a challenge, and it doesn't matter whether it's economical, relationship wise, spiritually, mentally, physically, house-wise, job-wise, country-wise, government-wise, every which way, what I've discovered through clinical practice and having the privilege of living with a whole lot of diseases that were supposed to take me out, I have learned that we are far, far more than our general educational system teaches us. We are integrated spiritual beings, I believe. So that doesn't mean to say religious, but spiritual. And we can access these phenomenal, what I call superpowers. So the point of this is to encourage you to keep asking the people who really love you, when you, I don't know, run the pub or having a cup of coffee or whatever, the people who really love you and like you, ask them how they see you in relation to your superpowers. Because very often other people know us better than we know ourselves. But actually what I want to encourage you and I to do, and I'm doing it all the time because that's what gives me the edge with the things I live with, is get to know myself. I'm an empowered woman these days because I've got to know myself. I've stopped looking at myself and experiencing myself through other people's eyes, particularly my darling mother's eyes. My mother was a very she was a phenomenal human being that was very, very gifted, and yet monumental amounts of trauma, and also being born with some really nasty diseases which caused her terrible, terrible, catastrophic chemical disasters, was never really properly diagnosed. So she was always up against something which really tragically she interpreted as something that was so wrong with her. She felt as if, and it wasn't a conscious thing, I don't think, but she hated herself and she interpreted everything that went wrong in her life as her fault. So she internalized everything. And I think that a lot of us can start our lives and then continue, if we're not careful, with a dialogue inside our own heads and hearts and minds, which affects our chemistry, by the way, which is so disparaging and humiliating and shaming and bullying. So no matter what we've experienced on the outside, if you want to change your life fast, change the dialogue that you have going on within yourself and find out what your superpowers are, because you really can live with whatever challenges you have in a very inspired way. I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not going to say that there aren't going to be really horrible moments, because of course there are. But what I am attempting to share with you is that the more you get to know yourself, and the more you find out what your superpowers are, and the more you actually learn to live with the willingness to make the most of yourself from inside out, the more you can influence the really nasty things that do come into our lives. So that's the point of these videos, is to find out what changes you can make that actually do make a huge difference. Liking yourself and then discovering your superpower is a fantastic beginning, in my humble opinion. So take what you like from these videos and leave the rest. Take care. Bye.